Allow yourself to serve others while being served in return. What's up, conscious community? Are you spending time day in, day out doing something that you don't feel is serving the world in the way you know you can? And by doing that thing, are you maybe not receiving what you know you can receive? Maybe financially, the money that you need or want, or maybe the validation from the peers or the environment to nurture and nourish who you are. If that's the case, there's good news, because in 2 simple steps, you can shift out of that. And it can take you 1 hour, it could take you a week, it could take you a month, it could take you a year, and that depends on you, your situation, and what you choose for yourself. You on a daily basis can shift out from your job, or from the schooling that you're in, or from the day in, day out activities that you are living in, that you are choosing to act on each and every day. You can shift that if that isn't healthy for you and how you want to serve and how you want to be served. So let's get right into it. What am I talking about? Well, if you resonate with the opening statement, I think we're on the same page. Are you doing something day in, day out, most likely your job or the way that you're in service to others, that does not quite serve the world the way that you want to impact the world? And does that job or the way that you're serving others, maybe it's volunteering, or maybe it's just that you're in school in a way that doesn't serve you? Well, if you're not receiving the right things back, if you're not being financially compensated, or if you're not receiving the acceptance of people around you because they don't understand who you are or what you're trying to share, then that might not be a desirable place to live in. Now, that will teach you something to live in that, and let it be a lesson, and let yourself move out of it and step into your power and allow yourself to serve others while being served in return. Now, this is a 2-step process. So the first step is actually a mindset shift. The mindset shift is really simple and it's really easy, and this is why. Once you realize that you're working in a job or you're living in a situation day in, day out, that does not really ask you to do something to serve the world in a true way that is your heart's calling, or that is your true essence of who you are. Well, basically, you can just realize that. Look around at what you're doing. Are you truly fulfilled? Are you satisfied? Or is there a surface personality satisfaction, but are you really satisfied? You know, if you were on the deathbed and someone asked you, did you do your life's work? Or did you begin to partake in your life's work? Could you say yes? Now, if you could be on your deathbed any day, because we're mortal flesh apparently, or so we think, then can you answer yes? And my suggestion is to be able to answer yes as soon as possible. Now, the mindset shift is one from, I'm doing this job because I have to, or I'm doing this job and serving others because that's just what I'm doing, or I'm in school for this reason even though it doesn't make any sense to me, or it's not actually making me excited on a daily basis, or this isn't how I want to impact the world, or what I'm doing day in, day out. If I was on my deathbed and was asked the question, did you begin to partake in your life's work? If you can't say yes, and if you can't say yes and feel it in your body, in your heart, in your soul, then step 2 is required. Now, the second step is to change your environment. There's 2 things involved in step 2, and it's changing your outside environment. Like, it might be changing your actual job, or it might be changing what you're in school for, or it might be changing that you're in school, or it might be changing, taking up a different trade, or it might be moving cities, states, countries. It might be moving to a different planet, right? So if this is the case for you, then the external environment shift can be really potent and really important. So you could, instead of working let's say you're in an office job and you're really just doing paperwork all day, and you know that you have this creative flair and you want to serve people in a way where maybe you impact them directly. If that's the case, instead of doing paperwork and your personality, your person isn't impacting them, then maybe you find a job where you're making the same amount of money or more, and you're doing something where you begin to impact people directly. Now, realize that taking a step to change your outside environment does not have to be the perfect step. However, stepping one step in the direction of what you want opens up the door to get to what you want. Because if you stay in that office job where you're doing paperwork and that's not serving you, and that's not serving others the way that you want to serve them, then there's really no reason to stay there, right? Unless staying there for however long is part of the plan to move in the direction of your dreams. Now, the second aspect of the environment shift is an internal environment shift, right? And so let's just stick with the same example. You're in that job, okay? Let's say you do want to be impacting the world in a different way, and you do want to be impacted in a different way. You want to make more money, or you want the people in your workplace to kind of understand what you mean when you speak. You know, a lot of us are in that situation where we don't actually quite come across to others in a way that we feel validated. And oftentimes that's can be simply because they don't think the same way, they don't hold the same values, they don't hold the same vision for Earth or themselves, right? And so if you're in a situation where day in, day out you're in the external environment that's not serving you, but it's not time to shift that, or you don't want to shift that, and maybe you can shift the internal environment. Now, this internal environment is your actual body, your energy field, and the inside of your body, your organs, your systems, right? The functioning systems, your internal. And that does include your energy that's coming out as well. That's all of that's your expression, that's your internal. So you can shift this with a diet shift. You can shift this with different physical activity. You can shift this with the different mindset, actually, as well. And you can also shift this with the way that you treat yourself. Now, if others don't treat you the way that makes you feel validated, you can treat yourself in a way that makes you feel validated. Just simply sitting alone and feeling how you feel in your body. And if you feel the sensitivity of energy around you, starting to feel how your whole energy system is, you can start to automatically be self-validating yourself just because you're aware of how you are feeling. Instead of needing someone to say, hey, I see that you're not feeling well, do you need a shoulder to cry on? You can tune into yourself and realize that that's what's happening, and then automatically you are the shoulder you're crying on because you're self-aware. You're aware of the self. The self's aware of itself, and that is a form of validation that can be very potent. So I hope this resonates with you, and I hope that this can take you somewhere new, somewhere where you're serving other people and where you're serving yourself. Now, to make this very clear, how you would be serving someone else doesn't have to be how you want to be served. So, for example, if you are an artist, right, and you draw, and if you sell these drawings and you give the drawing to someone and they pay you for it, let's say they pay you $100 for that drawing, then basically what's happening is you served yourself by drawing because it's your artistic and creative expression. And now you are gifting that to someone who is going to serve you in return with the money. And so you're serving someone with the gift of that drawing. Maybe you don't need that drawing on your wall, right? You might have had fun creating it. It might have served you, and it might be something you keep in your portfolio, or maybe in your artist's room, right? But maybe you don't hang it above your bed. But maybe that person that's what they want. So you've served them with a piece of art to hang above their bed. Now, they don't need to serve you with a piece of their art to hang above your bed. They can serve you with something different. So if you want to create art and sell it, be okay with receiving what you want in return. Now, you on a daily basis can shift out from your job, or from the schooling that you're in, or from the day in, day out activities that you are living in, that you are choosing to act on each and every day. You can shift that, if that isn't healthy for you and how you want to serve and how you want to be served, into a place, one step at a time, where what you're doing with your body, with your mind, with your intention, is actually serving the world in a way that you want to see it impacted. And then the world can give those things back. So that could show up in the form of getting a better job, getting a job that suits you more, and that you can show up as yourself and give in a way that feels good, and maybe it pays you more. Maybe there's commission, maybe there's blah, 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 right? Maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you create your own business, maybe you're your own person, unit operating instead of being an employee, right? There's different ways to go about it. And then if you want to be receiving things, not even considering the job, right? But let's say you're in school, or you're in schooling of some sort and you're learning. Are you learning the things that serve you and give you things to then give back to the world? So for example, I trained in yoga for about 1.5 years. Now, when I was training, I was receiving things that felt really good to me and that I knew impacted me, and if I shared that with other people, it would impact them, and that would impact the whole world in a way that I want to see happen. Now, if you're in a school system, or you're doing something every day where what you're receiving is not serving you and how you want to then serve the world, then that might need to shift, or you might want that to shift. So remember that it's not always about money, it's not always about a job, it's not always about school either. Maybe it's as simple as when you're out in the grocery store, you go to the clerk that you enjoy the energy of the most. Now you have chosen a path of receiving something that serves you. Remember that you can be served just as much as you can serve others, and you can serve others just as much as you can be served. I actually dare you to do one thing today, to either shift your mindset and start to take your mind on a new path, or take your feet and walk in a new direction, one step at a time, one step today, to start doing something that serves someone else in the way that you want to see the world served, and to set your life up or choose that cashier that you like in order to receive the way that you want to receive. My name is Aaron. Thanks for watching, Conscious Community. Much love, y'all. Peace.